Yeah. It seems like
Live at 5 with Bob Boudreau, Melody Lawson.
God, why is there three eyed person?
The Sports with Tim Melton and Ed Brandon's weather. Now, live at 5.
I did that. But looks like that.
I was
Looks like that first level.
afraid for my guys that were up there. I didn't want anything to happen to them. I knew they were in a high-stress situation. They didn't want to make any mistakes. One mistake in a situation like this, and you can cost somebody their life and yourself.
Those words from one of the rescuers who brought a high drama today to a happy conclusion. Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Boudreau has the day off. Jim Rosenfield sitting in for him.
Melanie, it began when a worker atop a Northwest Houston water tower slipped and was left dangling from a single cable for nearly an hour.
Right now, Tom Dickerson has more on the heart-stopping sequence of events.
The victim was part of a crew painting a water tower located just off of Interstate 45 near 1960. Something went wrong and the scaffolding they were using broke loose. The accident left one of the three men, Walter Cotty, hanging from a rope by his safety belt about 150 feet in the air. Billy Hayes, one of the workers, explained what happened.
He was on his way up the bubble when he screamed, and I was looking out, and I saw him fall. And when he fell part way, then he slammed up against the bubble of the tower, then he fell back down another 10 feet. And then from there, he told me to go call the fire department.
Firefighters from the Ponderosa Fire Department were on the scene within minutes. A member of the department's high-rise rescue team rappelled off the top of the 200-foot tower to assist the victim, who was tangled in the safety line that had broken his fall. A member of the Houston Fire Department's high-rise rescue squad was then sent to assist, and the victim was safely lowered to the ground almost an hour after the accident. Investigators determined that a broken cable caused the mishap, a cable that workers say may have been tampered with.
Well, when they said they went up to the top today, that there had been, before they went up, there was motorcycle tracks all out there, and the car had been brought out and burnt. So consequently, after Alan Truelove checked the rigging, it seems like there's a possibility that some clamps or something could have been loosened up there that caused this disaster.
Another worker reportedly fell from the same tower and was slightly injured last month. Walter Cotty, the victim of today's incident, was transported to Northwest Medical Center with multiple cuts and bruises, where he was listed in stable condition. Tom Dickerson, Eyewitness News.
And we told you just a moment ago we were going to be able to speak to one of the rescuers who helped save Walter Cotty's life as he dangled from that water tower. He now joins us live. Paul Cota, the man who rappelled down that tower to rescue Cotty. Thank you very much for joining us, and I've got to ask you, what was going through your mind at the time when you were doing all of this?
Well, when I arrived on the scene, I knew that we were going to have to get Mr. Cootie out and or down from his garret, which is holding him up on the tower. And we went up there and we hooked up our lines. And I just went down to him. He was having problems breathing at that time from his harness being entrapped around his rib cage. So I just lifted him up a little bit and put a harness on him and attached him to my line so that he would have his...
We were going to be able to speak to one of the rescuers who helped save Walter Cotty's life as he dangled from that water tower. He now joins us live. Paul Cota, the man who rappelled down that tower to rescue Cotty. Thank you very much for joining us, and I've got to ask you, what was going through your mind at the time when you were doing all of this?
Well, when I arrived on the scene, I knew that we were going to have to get Mr. Cootie out and or down from his garret, which is holding him up on the tower. And we went up there and we hooked up our lines. And I just went down to him. He was having problems breathing at that time from his harness being entrapped around his rib cage. So I just lifted him up a little bit and put a harness on him and attached him to my line so that he would have his weight more on the lower part of his body where he can breathe okay.
That's you we're looking at right there, is it not?
Yep.
Okay, now, had you received, obviously, some training with high-rise rescue, but did your training, in fact, prepare you adequately to take on a feat such as this one?
Oh, definitely. The training is the most important part of this. The gentleman that helped me from Houston today with the rescue, it was my training instructor up at A&M in April when we did our training up there, which is something that Harris County does with all the fire departments out here.
I don't know if you've ever had to handle this kind of a situation before. Did you ever think that perhaps the worst might happen and maybe two of you would be in a dangerous situation?
Well, that's part of the safety that we're trained when we go to these training seminars for this type of incident. With that training, they train that you don't want to put yourself in a predicament that you're going to end up hurting yourself and the person you're trying to help. So my objective was to go there and help that person and do it in as safe a manner as possible.
So you were never, I'm sorry, you were never in fear of your own life at that point?
I didn't really have time to think about that. Now I sit back and look at it and I go, yeah, there was a possibility there, but you don't think about that when you're doing your job.
And never had this kind of situation present itself before, I take it?
No, I'm sure there's a lot of firefighters out there that are trained to do this kind of stuff and never have the opportunity to do it. Luckily, in a way, I guess you can consider it luck. I got a chance to use it and help that person.
Well, congratulations to you.
And it's lovely to have a real-life hero here on our show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I was doing this.